So let's just go through and kind of have a conversation about more detail on some of those. The first one, the more money you make, the better your credit score will fare. Does how much you earn have anything to do with your credit score?
Not your credit score itself. Now, generally speaking, if you make more, you would probably have the ability to pay your bills better and on time, which does affect your credit score, but your income is never, ever figured into the score itself.
Right, the credit bureau has no knowledge of your income.
Because what they're looking at is how you manage your credit, not whether or not you have any. A lot of people have a lot of money, but they don't manage it so good.
There is something called your ability to pay your debt and your intent to pay your debt.
Two different things.
That's right.
So, Brandi, another one here is really interesting to me because, I don't know, I don't even know how it got on the list because I can't imagine that anybody believes it's true that credit bureaus never make mistakes. Do they make mistakes?
At a minimum, 70% of credit reports are wrong. I can almost guarantee you every single person in this room has mistakes on their credit report. That
is an astounding number. So if you're listening to us today, 70% chance that there's a mistake. And I don't know this, maybe you do, Brandi, but are those mistakes generally in the consumer's favor? Or are they?
I think you know.
They are almost never in the consumer's favor.
Right, because there's some sort of misreported late payment or, something that happened that is negative. I mean, most of the things on the report are the negative things that are going to knock it down, right? And also, I want to throw out here, because I know from personal experience that not only are those credit reports frequently inaccurate or mistaken, but how often would you say that you're helping somebody with their credit score and you're getting some improvements and you get some sort of derogatory statement removed? Does it ever come back? The same thing?
It depends. Legally, the credit bureaus are not allowed to reinsert that account.
Right.
Legally, they are not allowed to reinsert it unless they notify you within 5 days with new information. They almost never do that. The place where we do see that is collections being sold and resold to different companies and different account numbers. Now, that's where you're seeing it. So it's a constant battle.
So you do a campaign of sorts to improve the scores by removing derogatory, late pays, whatever it is. Just because they removed and your score might bump up, but 3 months later, it might just come right back again. I mean, it does happen. I've seen it happen. So that's a real myth that people need to understand. Here's another one that people talk about, and frequently hear people say, well, I don't need to worry about my credit score because I'm going to pay cash for the house, and I pay cash for everything, so I'm sure my score is excellent anyway. Is there any truth to that?
You know what? Unless you are basically a self-employed millionaire, your credit can be used in many, many different ways, and you're going to need it. Your home insurance, your car, your job.
Your employment. I mean,
unless you're a self-employed millionaire, credit is going to affect your life.
Right. I mean, government jobs, a lot of those will look at your credit scores. It touches so many things that it's unbelievable. And if you think that getting off the grid is going to help you when you need to be on the grid for consumer purchases or whatever, car loan, it's really critical. Being off the grid is not a good idea. How about another one here? Mike, any of these that were of particular interest to you?
Yes, my favorite is, don't pull my credit report because it's going to lower my score.
Don't do it. It's not true.
That's not true. You actually have a limited amount of time you're able to shop for your mortgage.
Correct.
And it'll only count as one inquiry. So as long as you're doing it correctly and in the right way,
and I hear it all the time, and I tell people, I say, no, if you're out there shopping around, which is your right to do and you should do, a couple of inquiries into your credit report for a mortgage is not going to lower your score. But I have people tell me that all the time, and I personally think it's because some lenders don't want them to shop for their mortgage.
Well, that's what I keep and I've been through this hundreds of times with people, and a lot of these things I think, well, where did it start? Who started? And that's probably it. Somebody said, don't shop around because they didn't want you to know that USA Mortgage was going to be a point less on your mortgage, whatever, than what that guy was quoting.
Let me tell you, bad credit is big business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you mean just as far as people trying to help people fix their credit and
Right.
the extra charges that they can make when people have bad credit.
Even the credit bureaus sell your information. I mean, bad credit is good for them.
And there's, I mean, there are programs or governments, there's a lot of rules and regulations, but it's still just such a mystery to people. How did my credit score go up? How did it go down? What do I do? And Brandi, that's where I want to, kind of, unless there's another one of these that we really want to focus on, any of these others need to really be looked at before. How about closing credit cards? Let's just quickly touch on that.
That's a biggie.
That's a biggie. And in rare scenarios, we recommend closing cards, and actually each person is very, very different. I would not recommend closing any accounts until you talk with a professional to see if that's right. It's a very rare of a case where we actually recommend closing something down.
So talking with the professional, that's where I want to get to. We could go into a lot of conversation about a lot of these. But the reality is that I think also, because we hear it from our clients, is people don't know what to do to make it better. So your work, Brandi, is in helping people improve their credit scores. So tell us just real quickly, the first couple of things, how do you do that? How long does it take, and how much does it cost?
Yeah, so even let's say we don't only work with bad credit people. We also work with people that just really want to make their credit better. You don't necessarily have to have terrible credit to want to improve it and get that 800 credit score.
Mike, if you've got a 680, would you get a better rate if you had a 720?
Yes.
You get a better rate.
740, 760, yes.
So it doesn't matter if it's bad or not bad. It can be better, right? So your job is to understand what they currently have and how it got where it is.
And how it got where it is and how we can fix it. And what we do is we use the Fair Credit Reporting Act and the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, because like we said before, there are over 70% of credit reports that have mistakes and they don't follow the law. Mm-hmm. So we use those laws, rules, and regulations put in place to help the consumer to erase those negative items that are not correct and not accurate from their report, so their score automatically improves.
Just by taking out the things that shouldn't be there, or the things that maybe could be there but weren't filed properly, they need to be removed. There's a lot of tricks to it that you have to be kind of on the inside to know what those tricks and secrets are, and that's what you do, is help people with that. So another thing that we get questions about a lot is, okay, so you want me to call Brandi because she can help me improve my score so I can buy a house in 3 months or 6 months. What's it going to cost me?
Let me tell you, the cost for credit repair is going to be a drop in the bucket compared to all of the interest that you're paying right now over the course of your mortgage, your car, and your insurance.
It truly is not a cost; it's a savings.
It's a savings.
Whether you charge $300 or $3,000 in a relatively short period of time, they're going to save more than that, and they're going to save it forever.
And having used a number of credit repair people, I can say that Brandi services are among the most reasonable in town.
So, Brandi, we are out of town, but if somebody wants to reach you, what phone number can you be reached on? That is bad English, but I'm saying it anyway. On what phone number can you be reached, Brandi?
Call me directly at 314-322-8740 for your free consultation today.